what I saw at the scene. As per usual, viewers, I'm gonna go to the last entry and see what Athena has to say. Or, you know, the thoughts of Phoenix. Mr. Starbuck isn't the killer. And if that's true, then there must be a false statement in the director's testimony. Let's press his statements and draw the truth out of him. You're gonna teach me how to do things, Athena? You're gonna teach me? Detective Arm and I rushed toward the boarding lounge together. Where were you coming from? The 6th floor. Huh? How did they manage to do that, though? With the explosions, like, the elevators weren't working. Were they? I think they weren't. The 6th floor. We're making sure any stragglers made their way to the 4th floor. It was then we heard about Starbuck and Terran and hurried to the 3rd floor lounge. Oh my. Galactic scooter here, of course. Why do you keep calling it galactic? Does it have something to do with space? Of course. It's specifically designed to be used on galactic battleships. These do not exist. I see. Then I take it works in 0G too? Sadly, no. With the current state of technology as it is, I'm afraid it would just float about and be galactically useless. Galactically useless. Well, that's a galactic bummer. I see. So you rushed to the boarding lounge on your Space Asia pogo stick. And when you got to the scene, what did you see? It's not a pogo stick. That was funny. Went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. That doesn't make sense. At least this one, that doesn't make sense. Let's see. According to this diagram, you didn't have to go through the control room to get to boarding lounge 1. Yeah, weird design here. You didn't have to go through the control room to get to boarding lounge 1. It looks like you could have gone there from the southern corridor as well. I mean, isn't it faster to go from up there? Yes, but in her haste, Detective Arm rushed ahead of me towards the control room. All I could do was merely follow behind her. Weird. Seeing that you're on your galactic pogo stick, shouldn't it be faster than, you know, than a human running? I see. So we peeked into the boarding lounge from the control room door and we saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge, and Terran lying on the floor. The fact that he has been peeking, or he have peeked from the control room, might actually be important. So you couldn't see who that figure was clearly, or what they were doing. Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person, standing motionless. The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there? I'm so close, but without evidence. I can't prove that person's the third party. I don't relish in this, and I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. Or a Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge. But she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Maybe that's the idea here. We're gonna say that he actually doesn't have... he's not 100% sure that he is actually the defendant. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Terran, but I couldn't see who the other person was. Didn't Fulbright say that they actually had to remove the helmet and the glove to identify him? So that means that he was actually... This statement is incorrect. Like, how did he manage to identify that it was Terran from underneath that... from under this helmet? While he was wearing it, I mean. So, for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck. Isn't that correct? I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder. Objection. When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director? Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Terran were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished. The figure vanished? You mean they disappeared? That's odd. Objection. The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witness weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness. He didn't feign it, though. Hold on, Director Cosmos... Hold on, Director Cosmos. Did you ever take your eyes off of the scene? Just for a brief instant. About as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. Can you give me, like, seconds? If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room. The southern door into the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way. Objection. All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof? Well... If we're just talking possibilities, We could each profess whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say that there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. Under the surface of the moon, too? God damn. Damn. Well, as long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. What the hell did we do to the moon? Well, I guess we did something horrible to it. We've planted the American flag on it. Yep, that's terrible. But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom? Where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists? He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. And he's right. I don't have any proof yet. Still, the southern door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that. Interesting. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes? Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? Huh. There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arms saw the figure and raised her gun. Huh? Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer. I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. What the shit? She fired a gun? Holy, she's definitely a USA police officer then. Shoot first, ask questions later. I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly and then she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. 2 shots, huh? This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. We now have a new statement here. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure. 2 warning shots. Two warning shots. I'm trying to imagine that that one of the bullets, of course, went inside the hole, but this one is actually missing a bullet, and the other one might actually hit the oxygen tank, but it still doesn't make sense because there's still 1 bullet. Still doesn't make sense. Yeah, there's something weird about this. And neither of these 2 shots hit the culprit. That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose. But did she really? Oh. There's something about this that bothers me. So Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? That's the first time that that info has come out. Wonder if I can find any inconsistencies. From a 10 caliber handgun. I don't think the police issue these kind of guns. A single bullet hole was found in the boarding lounge. Let's go ahead and present this.
Objection!
Are you sure you're really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? What the hell? What is that? Is that a... Does that have a, what? A single cylinder motor? Is it even possible? I think it's actually... a machine actually definitely need more than a single cylinder. You know, in a mechanic aspect at the very least. Like, it doesn't make any sense that a machine, especially like a motor machine, actually, you know, built on a single cylinder principle. But what do I know? It definitely sounds like it doesn't have enough cylinders in it. You doubt my words? Words that will someday be written down in history books? Somehow, I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Wow. Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. This is where... I'm gonna assume this is where stupid ass Simon is gonna jump. Oh no, we found the other bullet. What? Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book. I beg to differ, Phoenix. Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirmed that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
I mean, that's true. I mean, just knowing that forensics can detect that if a gun fired more than once, by the way, viewers, but that doesn't mean that it was fired twice and in that same scene. It might actually have been fired once here and once in another place. But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? You should know the answer to that already. Uh-oh. I should? He knows that we have the other bullets. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge. Have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank. To be precise, near the tank. This bullet was fired from a 38 caliber gun, the same caliber as the detective gun. So there were 2 guns, huh? What? Oxygen tank data updated in the court record. Yeah, this is something that I expected, really. This is something that I really expected, that it was actually the other one got fired onto the tank, but I mean, there's also other possibilities as well. Now we actually know that the other bullet belongs to an entirely different gun. The victim's oxygen tank was struck by a bullet. The rifling marks also matches up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. Bullet from Arm's gun added to the court record. Yeah, that's another bullet. The bullet found near the victim's oxygen tank. It was fired from a .38 caliber handgun. I kind of want to check on... Not on this, on the oxygen tank. Nothing new added here. I guess the update only counts here, I guess. Which makes sense. So yeah, we have this other bullet that's on a really small... For a really small gun. Rifling marks. They're like gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from? Yes. One of the bullets the detective fired found... the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. My beautiful contradiction. Gone. All gone. So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? I'd better update the record. Bullet hole updated in the court record. The only bullet hole found in the boarding lounge. It was made by a bullet fired from a .38 caliber gun. So there were 2 guns that was on the scene of the crime at one point. Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all of your questions? Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene? It doesn't, really. That means that she actually tried to target the victim. Because these were supposed to be warning shots. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. Or, you know, we're gonna point... we're gonna point out to the other bullet. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. We're not gonna question the fact that she tried to shoot someone. Oh, very well. But it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene? It's gonna be the other bullet. The 10 caliber bullet. Take that! And what is this metal pallet supposed to be? Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a 10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of Detective Arm's 38 calibers. Then that means... Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire 10 caliber bullets. Gink? Grink? Wow, he's really short. He's really short. I just noticed that. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. Oh, maybe the gun actually belonged to that person? Oh. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. Why didn't you say that then? He doesn't look like he doesn't want to look like a wimp. He doesn't want to look like a wimp. That's it. That's it, viewers. He doesn't want to look like a wimp. What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Huh. Well, all great men have a secret or two. Don't you know? Foolish old geezer. So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom, you're just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. No, please give accurate testimony. You tell him, Judge. You tell him. What I really saw at the scene. What I really saw at the scene. Is this how it's gonna be? Is this how it's gonna be? Yeah, there's nothing to check here. So, this is the one that got updated. Yeah, this is the one that got updated before. So yeah. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room, and Taryn on the floor. Wow. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Man, this one can actually be complicated. What if it was Aura that did it, and did it with one of her robots? And the robot actually got, was the one that actually fired that custom gun. Because there were probably not any, there aren't any custom guns, but she can make one. Something tells me that we might actually have to go back again to the space center and inspect the robot lab. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock. Objection! Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one, and it's you who is cut down. Huh? Hey, you didn't understand my English? You didn't understand the way that I was reading that? Me stuttering all along? Well, I guess that makes sense. Your reasoning could apply if Spaceboy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the 10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person. Huh? You have to supply that with evidence. Objection! But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them. There's gonna be the garbage chute. The garbage chute. Objection. Yeah. Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute. Did you guys find that gun? Objection! But you cannot deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon. Objection. It's up to you to prove that possibility. No! It's up to you to prove the possibility that the gun was thrown down the chute. Where is the gun that's been thrown down the chute? You can go there and pick the gun that was thrown down the chute. Since the one that you think that had the gun couldn't possibly get it because you got him already. How the hell is the one that thrown that gun and that you already captured, that he cannot move, he cannot go anywhere, can have the possibility to get to grab that gun again? Huh? 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 Please do that, Phoenix. Don't be a dum-dum. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of the decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. I mean, the one that planted the bomb isn't necessarily was the one that actually did the killing. That's one possibility. I would rather go with that for now. Yeah, I did forget all about that. Are you serious, Phoenix? Are we gonna roll with the fact that that gun was thrown down the chute? Like, where is the gun then? Prove that the gun was thrown down the chute by actually finding the goddamn gun. Show me the gun that was in the garbage. Look, your baldness, how deliciously obvious it is that they lack the evidence in to rival mine. This game is stupid. Wow, really? Wow, he sliced our third-person theory to ribbons and served it to us. Just like that. Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that the mystery figure shot, what did it hit exactly? That's actually a good question. It hit me. So, does that mean you're a ghost? I was wondering when you would realize it, your baldness. Damn. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can't even pass through walls. Yeah, sure. Nah, there's a better reason. He was carrying the Mario star, so he got invincibility. Eek! Prosecutor Blackwell, shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman. Huh. Your baldness, it was all in jest. Please show yourself again. Are you sure? In that case... How did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? Huh. I'm glad you asked. It was a miracle. A miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. Well, really? It hits his medal? The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus giving me life. What? Why did he hide that fact then? That's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. There's one extra GYAXA star. Gyaxa. I'm gonna call it Gyaxa. The odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle. It's beginning to really feel like the Cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos. But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand. Understand what? I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Can't you detect? Can you not detect that he is hiding something stupid? Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Yeah, we still haven't cross-examined that testimony, so that's interesting. Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. What I really saw at the scene. Only 3 statements? Okay, so Director Cosmos was in the control room at this, to the east. And while he was there, he was shot at by someone with a 10 caliber gun. But the bullet hit his medal, so he was able to escape with his rifle. His life. Blah, blah, blah. Why did I read that as rifle? He's a very lucky man. No wonder people think he's great. Hey, I'm pretty lucky myself, so if that's a great man, then I'm the king of all Cosmos. Well, I guess. I think the thing here with this whole statement is the fact of where we found the bullets. Is the 10 caliber bullet gonna state where we found it? Discovered in the gutter that runs along the south wall of the boarding lounge, so that's gonna be the key here. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. We've already heard about all about that part. Don't you have any new information? Well, let me see. If you have an hour or two, I could tell you all about the Hat 1 miracle. We already know all about that too. Tell us about something related to this incident. Well, something tells me that the Hat 1 incident is actually kind of related to this one, but... I see. You want to know about incidents. Well then, let me tell you about the many incidents that made me the man I am today. Yes, if you have the time, I will tell you all about the upbringing of this great man. Upbringing? You've told us all about that already as well. Did he? I don't think he did. What we need now is your testimony. Did I really already tell you all about my upbringing? I don't recall doing so. Director Cosmos, perhaps you could save your boastful tales for later? If I must. Well, we peeked in through the control room door, and in the lounge we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and Taryn on the floor. In the middle of a room and Taryn on the floor. But it was so dark, you couldn't see this figure's face, isn't that right? Yes, the room was so deep and dark as outer space itself. Deep and dark? Speaking of outer space, during the Hat 1 launch 7 years ago, if it's about the Hat 1 miracle again, you can sod off and tell it to a stray mutt. Sod off? Wow. That's rude. Ha! Excellent idea. No reason why the animal world shouldn't hear from of my greatness. Wow. I'll tell it to the bird then. And so they shall. But first, your testimony. What happened next? Tell it to the bird. Go, 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 go. Ah, this fool is full of himself. Go, go. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. I want to check something here. So we didn't. We haven't gotten the medal as a piece of evidence. So in other words, you were fired. You were fired at while you were at the control room door. This is correct. There's something not quite right about that. Director Cosmos, the bullet this person fired hit you. Isn't that right? Yes, it was a miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet the figure fired hit me while I was in the control room. But as the Cosmos would have it, the bullet bounced off my glorious Medal of Honor. In that case, the bullet would have wound up somewhere around the control room door. Okay, so Director Cosmos was in the control room to the east. All of that was repeated, yep. So yeah, it was gotta be the bullet, and where we found the bullet, so yeah. Let's debunk that.